Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and well, the Jurassic World Rebirth second trailer has released, so yeah, we're going to do a trailer breakdown. So let's just start this off. So pretty much it starts off in this very clean looking lab, and anyways, they have the mutant in the cage thing as usual, and I still don't see this thing being aggressive. Like, we have this thing kind of creeping up behind the guy. Dude is like, please, I'm begging you to let me out. I don't know why she's not letting him. Anyways, then the mutant like goes to grab the guy, and then that's it. Still don't see it being aggressive. Anyways, then we have them on the boat, kind of talking about how I think there's like 24 species on the island, which doubt we're gonna see all of those. But anyways, we also have the mutant, like the raptor kind of decayed now. But anyways, we have the T-Rex. We were gonna loop back around this second, but again, the T-Rex looks great. Like, if it's Junior, which I've heard some theories, then this is the best thing ever. But if not, then I think it's just a pretty solid Rex design, probably the second best in the franchise. The river raft scene, I do have to say, is probably going to be one of the best Rex scenes in the franchise. Anyways, afterwards, well, right after the T-Rex just finished the river raft scene, then we have the characters looking over to the T-Rex roaring, and, oh no, there's more of them! Anyways, yeah, the disgusting freaks, I guess, have been breeding, so there's 1,000 of them now. That's I guess we'll have to burn that forest down. Anyways, let's see. Then we have the quetzalcoatlus scene, which... we already got this scene yesterday in the other kind of teaser of the trailer, which I didn't really actually cover. But, yeah, this scene, honestly, I think would have worked as a secondary scene, but I think we needed a scene of this animal on the ground. Design-wise, the Quetzal looks a bit better, though. Wish it was Hatchigopterus. Then we have them looking up at, like, this helicopter, I think. Anyways, same lines we've seen 1,000 times. They shoot a flare off into the air. We see the aquilops, which still doesn't look like an aquilops, just like a baby. What the heck? Why is the mutant so big? I still don't quite understand why the heck it's so oversized. Anyways, you see the thing roar. So, yeah, I guess there's that. Anyways, now we have the characters kind of just helping out the other characters. And now we get to meet the mutadons. Who the heck approved this? Why are we having freaking dragons? How the heck is this part pterosaur, part raptor? This is just a straight up dragon. We'll go back to that in a second. Anyways, now we have the best creature in the trailer, Mosasaurus. Best creature in the film in general. The scene looks absolutely amazing with it completely just ramming the boat and just kind of destroying it. Also, you can see a little bit more that it has literally the exact same colors as the Mattel toy, which is actually really nice. The Mattel toy has some pretty nice colors and patterns, and we have it breaching out of the water as we saw before. Anyways, that's pretty much all we have in the Rebirth trailer. But we're going to actually go back in a second to the beginning of it. Yeah, you can see it releasing July 2nd. So, yeah, anyways, I'm going to actually go back to the beginning of this trailer. We're going to go through it a bit slower. So, again, starting off in the lab, we have the D Rex, or I'm refusing to call that, so I'm just going to stick with mutant, being absolutely not aggressive in the slightest. Still thinking dude is just lonely and wants a friend. Like, I don't see any evidence thing being aggressive or really scary, really. Like, what the heck do you expect it to do? It doesn't speak English, so yeah, anyways. Probably just wants a friend. Anyways, back to the 24 species, which... I'm scared what those designs are, especially what they're considering species. But anyways, the T-Rex, again, the colorations, I should be able to tell the colorations now, but I think they look really nice. Generally, the design, I think, is really good. I know people are saying it's a bit bulkier, but I just don't really see it. I see the promated wrist, and maybe it's slightly bulkier, but not really. I do really hope that this T-Rex is Junior, because I think that would be really nice to see Junior again. And I would absolutely love this if it's Junior design, but otherwise, then I think it's just a solid Rex design. I think this is just going to be another plain average-ish Rex. Still the second best in the franchise. And really the main thing that's going to be showing this T-Rex off is the actual scene it has, which I think is going to be absolutely amazing. Anyways, they have T-Rex's roar, which is kind of similar to the original. And, oh my goodness. There's more of them! Why are there so many? Okay, yeah. I guess I have to some point stop over at this island and burn this entire forest down. Honestly, I don't know. These disgusting creatures. I know some people were saying that there might be a courtship scene between the two, which, okay. Too bad the scene gets ruined by having Titanosaurus in it. So, oh, sorry, I got a notification. Anyways, we have the quetzalcoatlus flying. Then it goes in, like, I'm not gonna lie, the ruin on the side of the cave kind of just looks really out of place. It's just, like, right there in the middle of a square. Anyways, we have the quetzalcoatlus flying up, going into the cave, sees the characters with it, and it's kind of snapping around. I think this could work, again, either as a secondary scene, but not as the main scene, since I think we really need to have as dark a scene on the ground, or at least, like, why not on the mountain top at the very least, to give it room to run around? A forest would honestly be, the best area, like, maybe kind of during, like, in a scene that's a little bit darker. Okay, just dropped my microphone anyways, Anyways, again, with the quetzalcoatlus, what I was saying, I think that it just would work so much better with a scene if it in like a forest or something instead of just being in a cave where it can barely move. That is like one issue, and also again, I think it would have worked a bit better if it was called Hatchigopterus, but that's not the end of the world. I just really wish it had a better scene. Anyways, we go on. They kind of go through forest, and then we have Dolores, which the design does not look as bad as the render. Still doesn't look the greatest. It still looks literally nothing like Aquilops. I was really excited to see Aquilops was going to be in this film, especially back when the first rumors came out. But this looks literally nothing like an Aquilops. It looks like a baby Protoceratops. And again, looping back to it being a baby, this thing is already the size of a full-grown Aquilops. So, this thing's gonna be very oversized, especially since I don't know what they're really considering a baby. I know some people said that maybe it's being called a baby because it's supposed to be a small and cute dinosaur, but I don't know. I don't think they've ever really done that in the past. I could be wrong. They usually consider something a baby when it's an actual baby. So, yeah, honestly, I am very worried about that. Why didn't they just go with Protoceratops so that it had room to grow if they really wanted to have it grow up? I honestly just don't care for this creature in the slightest. Don't really like the design. Doesn't really look like an Aquilops. It's basically just a baby Protoceratops called by the wrong name. Anyways, going forward some, why the heck is the freaking mutant so big? Honestly, why do we have to have two absolutely massive, disgusting creatures? Can we at least get rid of the Titanosaurus and replace it with just a bunch of these things? I think I'd rather have that and then maybe have the island erupt afterwards. Why does Nublar have to explode? Why not this island? Anyways, yeah, you can see it's just strolling through the forest. Again, not being aggressive, just taking a leisurely stroll. Then we have Duncan still in this river, getting screamed at by the mutant, which, I mean, maybe looks a bit intimidating, but, still not being aggressive. Like, yeah, it yelled at the dude, but, like, what do you expect it to do? Say hello? It, again, cannot speak English. That's kind of a bit of an issue. I still don't see this thing really being particularly aggressive. Some animals just express their emotions weirdly. So yeah, again, I don't really see a reason for this thing to be considered aggressive or in any way. Maybe he's trying to help Duncan out of the water or something, or scare away some fish or something else. Never know. Anyways, we have this scene in the tunnels, which may have the Velociraptor. Then they're at like this random gas station or something, or is this a lab? I don't know. I'm just gonna call it a gas station. And we get to see the dragons. I mean, mutadons. Are we getting How to Train Your Dragon? Honestly, I'm starting to see less and less of a reason to come watch this movie and just go watch that instead. Okay, jokes aside, because at least there are some dinosaurs in this movie. Why the heck are we getting a dragon, basically? Anyways, we have Dolores in the backpack again. Anyways, again, these things are just basically just... I don't know. I don't understand how we had no time to give Quetzalcoatlus a good hunting on the ground scene, but instead we have plenty of time to give basically a dragon scenes. I know I made that one joke putting Ghidorah as a mutant Spinosaurus, but honestly at this point I don't see why the heck not at this point. I do have to say, again, I really don't see anything that looks pterosaurish or dinosaurish. Like, it has pterosaur wings, and then it has raptor claws and maybe feet. The rest of this doesn't really look like either of them. It's just like a bat dragon lizard, which again I just don't understand. Honestly, I think I would have way preferred this scene with like actually having the Quetzalcoatlus come back in the scene could have worked, and have them like have several of them stalking around the gas station. I think would have worked so much better instead of just having whatever the heck these dragons are. So yeah, I've seen a little bit of the new How to Train Your Dragon clips. Honestly, this dragon is worse than all of them. Anyways, now we have the Mosasaurus scene. Again, don't have much to say outside of this scene is literal perfect. I love the Mosasaurus design. I love its scene. Interestingly, we don't get to see Spinosaurus in this trailer, which is a little bit of a shame. But yeah, we do get to see Mosasaurus more, and it looks absolutely amazing. So that's pretty much it. One thing I also forgot to mention is the scene where the mutant roars. That is probably the scene people were confusing with it being a fire-breathing scene, because I know they said that there's like a scene of the thing fire-breathing, and I'm guessing that's the scene because there's some fire in front of it. It doesn't really look like fire-breathing to me, but yeah, neither does that thing look like a T-Rex, so yeah, I don't know. Anyways, that's the second Jurassic World Rebirth trailer. Surprisingly, I only wanted to burn like half of it down, so yeah, honestly. I think, again, the T-Rex looks amazing. Again, I still think this T-Rex is not anything particularly special. I mean, unless it's Junior, I think it's nothing particularly special. It's just a really good Jurassic T-Rex. And, again, I think the scene is really going to be what makes it stand out instead of its design. And then, again, Why are there so many of the freaking disgusting freaks? I honestly don't feel like ranting, but why the heck is Argentinosaurus not here? Why the heck does this thing look like this? Why? I have so many questions for this thing's existence, but anyways, the quetzalcoatlus, I've warmed up to, just still think it needs to have been in an area where you could actually use the animal properly instead of in a literal cave. Dolores, yeah, I think this is just poor species choice and poor aging decisions. Again, they probably should have picked a larger ceratopsian instead of going with aquilops if they wanted it to be a baby. Actually, they should have just went with protoceratops. Anyways, why the heck is the mutant freaking sauropod size? Still don't get that. Anyways, again, having the thing we're on the wall, which you can kind of see the fire in front of it. And again, the mutant, at this point, I don't really, the mutadons are just straight up dragons. I feel like they gave up at that point, but at least the mutant, they kind of made a design for it. Again, I can deal with this thing as long as they just don't do any more mutants in the future. They do more mutants, I think I'm tapping out of this franchise. Anyways, again, we haven't seen the Velociraptors, the Triceratops versus Spinosaurus scene that we're apparently getting, and also the Parasaurolophus, which I'm begging for there to be an adult Parasaurolophus. I know we have an adult Parasaurolophus corpse, but I'm begging for there to be an actual adult Parasaurolophus fight scene. But let me see if I know when the T-Rex started roaring, was it stepping off of the okay, I thought it was okay, I went back for a second to go see, but I don't think the T-Rex was by the Parasaurolophus corpse, so maybe that's a different scene. Anyways, these stupid mutadons, why the heck are we basically just getting dragons? No small pterosaurs, we could have gotten like Rhamphorhynchus, Quetzalcoatlus, again in this scene, a actual interesting Pteranodon, a Tropiognathus, honestly, Utah Raptor, or just even the regular Velociraptors, which we don't see in this trailer. But no, instead we get to see this. Another dinosaur that is kind of absent in this trailer is Maiasaura. So yeah, I'm guessing Maiasaura is not going to be in this movie. So I guess that's a shame. Because especially since Maiasaura's been cut from every Jurassic film. And this, I guess, will be added to the list. That is kind of sad. Anyways, Mosasaurus, absolutely no negative feelings towards this thing. It's absolute perfection. I love Mosasaurus. The design is great. The scenes are great. Can't wait to see that thing in the film. So yeah, basically most of my opinions on Rebirth still stand. We just got to see new scenes, and my standards have been lowered slightly more with the mutadons. Otherwise, yeah, honestly, I think again, I still think this movie is just gonna have. I don't think this is gonna be really particularly a good movie. It's just gonna have a lot of good scenes. Already seeing the most good. Okay, the scenes that I think are going to be the best so far are like the Spinosaurus and Mosasaurus scenes. The river raft scene are all going to be like the best ones. Then the kind of worst ones are the Quetzalcoatlus scene, just because the position they put the animal in. Titanosaurus scene, just because Titanosaurus is there. And yeah, then everything worse than that I think is going to be like any of the mutant scenes, because okay, fine, I'm going to distinguish the mutadons are the mutant, or the smaller mutants, and the mutant, well, the Distortus, and I'm just going to stick with D Rex. Distortus Rex sounds stupid. I'm just going to continue to call that one specifically just the mutant, or Mr. Mutant, since I think that's a little bit easier to tell the difference. Anyways, Mr. Mutant scene I think is going to be a bit better. I honestly, again, don't really see what it's going to do, but I think it's going to be a bit better than the Mutadons. This scene just kind of looks generic. And also, we could have had literally any small animal in here instead of a literal dragon. Like, at least the mutant, like, I was like, what the heck even is that? It's not even a dinosaur, let alone really an animal. The mutadons, or the small mutants, are just straight up dragons. Like, what kind of laziness is that? Again, I don't know. This movie, I don't know. Why? I have so many questions. Honestly, I think this is going to be enjoyable. The only thing that makes this film more enjoyable for me is knowing that they wouldn't do most of the stuff that they're doing in this film. I'm just begging for most of these things that were in this film to not happen in any future films. There are some things that I'm excited for, but generally all around there's a lot of things I just don't want to ever see again in this franchise. For example, most of the dinosaur designs like Titanosaurus, Aquilops, just the designing decisions they went with for a lot of the creatures, alongside the straight up dragon and mutants. I just don't want to see any more mutants in the franchise, since I think we got one good mutant in this franchise, being the Leucistic Baryonyx, and all the other ones are absolute garbage. They're not dinosaurs. If I wanted to see mutants, I would just go watch an actual movie about mutants instead of a Jurassic film. Like, I feel like there's just a lot of decision making in this movie, especially with species choices, that just don't make sense. Like, I don't know. Anyways, I do think that the scenes that we did get, some of the good scenes are going to be absolutely amazing, especially that river raft scene and its Spinosaurus and Mosasaurus scenes. But yeah, what are your guys' opinion on this trailer? And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!